Hello world, Stephen Michael Zach here, and today we are taking a look at the Deity Pocket Wireless. Now first off, I want to say this disclaimer, I did buy this with my own money, so these are going to be my own brutal opinions as always. I am also recording this entire episode on the Deity BP-TRX, I have two of them. And if you are not subscribed, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the bell button so you'll be notified when we post that review. But today we are talking about the Deity Pocket Wireless, and this will run you about $170. So let's take a look at what comes inside the box. First off, you're going to get the warranty card and some instructions, and you're going to get this semi-hard case, which I absolutely love, especially when you get the Rode and you get this terrible neoprene thing. But the case is rock solid, the zipper feels great, and opening this thing up, it looks fantastic. Now, inside the box, you are going to get the receiver here. You're going to get one transmitter. You're going to get one windscreen here. You do get a wireless lav mic, which the Rode does not come with. You're going to get a USB-C to camera little wire here. That'll also looks like will go into your cell phone as well. You're going to get a USB-C to USB-C. Not really sure what this is for. And you are going to get one charging cable. And you get these two little pockets here, and the case has this nice little foam in here. And you're also going to get a little dongle here, so you can change your USB-C to USB to a USB-C to USB-C. So all in all, very, very nice. Now, let's take a look at the two units here. Now, first off, I love the build quality. Yes, it is plastic, but one thing I really love on these is you do get a hard power switch. No longer do you have to deal with holding down a power button like you do on the Rode forever. These things just flip of a switch and they are on, which is fantastic. Now, it does take a few minutes to connect, check, but right out of the box, I did have to pair these, but once they're paired, they seem to be okay. And let's just take a quick look at the transmitter here. Now, first off, you do get a built-in microphone, and you do get a locking pin here for the lav mic. And this lav mic is made specially for this Rode, but it locks in very nicely like that. So all in all, very, very cool that you have that. I actually like to spin the actual unit around. I think that works a little better than trying to spin the mic around. Now, you do get this windscreen. I do not like this windscreen. It is one of those where you just kind of shove it in the hole here, like the old Rode Wireless Go, and that's one of the main reasons why I got rid of the Rode Wireless Go is because the windscreens were terrible. This has the same terrible windscreen. It is very difficult to get in. First of all, difficult to find. Second of all, difficult to squeeze in. So I would definitely skip this. Not a great design. I don't know why Deity went with that. You do get a pairing button on the side, your power and charging there, and of course it is that standard clippy clip that comes with everything. And of course you do get your power mute light and your pair and RST button right there. Now on the receiver here, you get your hard power button here, which I love. You get the same lights here that tell you battery power, all that fun stuff. You get your pairing button, and you do get a decibel button here. Now this thing I will show you has about 9 stops of decibels, and I actually like the way it works better than it does on the Rode, but we will take a look at that. And you do get a USB-C for charging and for plugging into your camera. Now one thing that is missing here is a proper headphone jack. Now, I'm later going to test to see if you can put in a headphone dongle so you can plug a USB-C to headphone jack in. I don't know if that's going to work. I have that on order, so I will leave it in the notes below. If it does work, I'll do a little update below. But again, it is the same construction. But on this, you do get an extremely beautiful screen. Now, while I like the screen on the Rode Wireless Go 2, it is super colorful. I have no problem with just the straight up blue screen here. And one thing I really like is the fact that you get a decent level monitor. Now on the Rode, you just get this little line, so you don't really know what you're hitting. It's just a line with no information, whereas with the Deity, it gives you a -12, -6 option. One thing that does drive me crazy is that the screen does go off way too fast on the Deity Pocket. I wish it would dim. I wish you had some control to make it dim and not turn all the way off, because then you just simply have to hit the decibel button again. But all in all, let's go ahead and turn this all the way down. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you get about 9 stops of dB before this thing clips out. And when you're using the internal mic, I find that turning this thing all the way up, just hits, on my voice, just hits a little over -12, which is pretty good. So all in all, not too bad. Now, you do get the dB level here up top. You get your connection to the 2.4 gigahertz Bluetooth, which is great. You get your little power indicators here. And again, a proper level, which I love. Now, let's go ahead and take a listen to what this thing sounds like plugged into my camera. Okay, so here we are, and we are maybe about 4 or 5 levels in, and this is what the microphone sounds like with just the mic, not plugged into a microphone. This is the built-in. Now let's take a listen to what happens when we plug in the lavalier mic here. And this is what the lavalier mic sounds like when it's plugged in. Check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, testing, 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is what it sounds like with the windscreen on. Check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, testing, testing, testing. And now I have my fan blowing at me at high speed so you can hear how much the windscreen works and reduces it when you are in direct wind here. So this is direct wind. I'll turn into the wind like it's just blowing by. Check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Testing, 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 testing. So let's talk about this windscreen for a moment. It seems fairly sturdy that it clips in, but it will fall out. The clip does seem pretty sturdy for the moment, but again, it is just plastic, so it most likely will wear out. I really wish they put a twisty lock on this rather than just a squish-in lock. So now let's talk about the pros and cons between the Deity and the Rode. Now, first off, the pros of the Deity is this will work with the Deity BP-TRX system that I am now testing out on this video. And that is fantastic because while this does not have an internal recording, you can internally record over that. This is $170, that is $250. So for about $400, maybe a little less, you can have a very nice system that is small, compact, and will also send a signal to your camera and make up a backup recording and record directly into your camera. So all in all, not too bad, but I do miss the internal recording feature. Now let's talk about some of the other pros. This has analog limiters. I'm a big fan of analog limiters. I think they sound fantastic. And I do like the fact that you get better control over your decibels and you do get a very, very solid level meter, which is so important, which is so missed out on the Rode. I love the fact that the screen is much brighter and much bigger. You get a better case. You actually get a real case rather than this neoprene thing that's terrible, and I never use this. I actually keep the Rode in a plastic pencil box. And you do get a lavalier mic that was made specially for this. So love the fact that you do get the option for the lavalier mic. And of course, the lavalier does lock onto the microphone. You do get a locking port, which is very, very nice. Now, I used the Rode on a corporate gig, and the guy just shoved it in his pocket. And while I was using the Rode Wireless Go, which is what I normally record with, I was so afraid, because he was moving around a lot, I was so afraid he was going to pull the wire. So no worries with the Deity, you are not going to pull your wire out. Another thing I love are, and I've said it before, are the hard switches on and off. I love that. The Rodes, that's one of the main reasons I got rid of my Rode 1, Wireless Go 1, was because it took too long to turn on. These still take too long to turn on. They're better, but not great. I love the Deity and how fast it is. Now let's talk about some of the cons, and these do have a shorter distance than the Rode, which is fine. I'm not gonna really use these at a distance. If I am, I'm gonna be switching to the BP-TRXs. There is no internal recording or safety track. And now, as a professional, I will always go to the Rode Wireless Go, and here is why. I like the backup recording, and I like the fact that it not only does backup recordings on the transmitter, but on the receiver you can do a safety track. You can split the track into a safety track. So I'm somebody who likes to have 3 things of audio running at all time, because audio is 90% of what you do, and the rest is the other 10%. So as a professional, I would run and grab this. That is just where my headspace is. So just letting you know that this does not have internal recording. However, if you do, for $250, get a Deity BP-TRX, then you can not only have a safety track in your camera, but you can also record a backup track. So again, you could always do things to have the same features as this for roughly around the same price. This windscreen is absolutely terrible. I really wish Deity went with the same thing that Rode had, the twist and locking one. Most companies that I've tested their little pocket wireless, they all have a twist lock on their windscreen. Why they went with this when this is so, when people hate this, and it's known that people hate this, I really wish they had done something better. And I really hope that maybe somebody comes out with a windscreen that'll actually spin into the locking port on the mic jack here, so that you're not forced to use this. I really don't know why they chose this. Really kind of questionable why they put that in there. Something that I think is very missing is a headphone jack. Now, while yes, you could always plug it into your camera, I do miss it because I do use the headphone jack on here because I do want to hear the sound quality coming from the preamp here and not kind of going out and into things. You can use a headphone jack on your camera, and that's if you have a headphone jack on your camera. I know some people are still using older cameras with no headphone jack, so a headphone jack for those people will be missed. The battery life is, of course, less than the Rode, but of course the Rode, you get 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. You could always plug the receiver into the battery power of your camera, and then the transmitters you can swap out, and that is pretty much what I do. But the battery life is not terrible on these things. And another thing that is missing is that you only get 1 charging cable. Now, why you get 1 charging cable for 2 units, I still do not understand. A lot of companies do this, and it makes no sense. It would have been very easy for them to include a double cable, or you can just go out and buy yourself a double cable that plugs into 1 USB to 2 USB-Cs. Why you have to go out and buy a separate cable? Again, something that I think was really missed here, especially when the case is not a charging case. So, who are these for? Well, if you're just starting out, if you're on a budget, if you just need something simple, if you're vlogging, doing YouTube videos, Zoom calls, because yes, you can plug these in and use them as a microphone via your computer, I say this is a pretty good bet. Now, professionally, I am always going to be running for the Rode Wireless Go 2, and I said it before, and that is because you have backup recording and safety track, and that is incredibly important when you're doing something that is, when you're making money, and something that is very important, and something that you really can't lose out on. Now, again, like I said, I'm somebody who runs 3 things of audio always, so I'm probably also running a Zoom H1N in the background as well, but professionally, I would highly recommend the Rode. It's just a safer bet. Now, if you're not too concerned with it or you're doing something very simple, the Deity is fantastic. I really love some of the features on here, like the hard on-off button is fantastic. The proper levels, the bigger screen, it just works very, very well. They load you with a free lav mic, which Rode doesn't do. They give you a fantastic case. They give you all the wires you could almost possibly want and need. I just think that the negatives are the windscreen and the lack of a headphone jack. But other than that, these are fantastic. I highly recommend them. They were super cheap. And yes, they work with the Deity BPTRX system. So if you need that backup recording and safety track for another $250, so pretty much you're paying around what you're paying for the Rode Wireless Go 2 system kit, you can have the same thing and stay in the Deity ecosystems. One last thing I love about the Deity Pocket is the fact that one thing I don't like about the Rode is when you clip it to a t-shirt, it has the habit of falling in and getting tangled up in my shirt. It gets muffled, you hear the scrapes. It's very awkward looking. The Deity is very sleek and very nice. It is also lighter and clips to my shirt so much better and does not look awkward and is not gonna fold in or fold down because it's longer. So really love that feature. So the Deity Pocket is a fantastic system, and I highly recommend this to anyone who is on a budget or just needs something very simple, very cheap. Remember, you could always add a BPTRX to it to get the extra features. But I really do love this thing, and I highly recommend it. So those are my thoughts, but I want to know yours. So leave your questions and comments in the notes below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to mash that bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. And feel free to use the links below, as it helps out the channel. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is new to me.